Ever wonder what chainsaws were originally invented for? Or what strange rule the British royal family has to follow? Could those two questions possibly be connected? Well, it seems Santa Claus has gifted us some rare and mind-blowing facts this season. Stick around, you won't believe what's coming next. Bread was the most purchased item in the US in 2017 and 2018, bought by 99.9% of households. This amounted to nearly 12 million loaves consumed daily, showcasing bread's essential place in the American diet. Before erasers were invented in the 1770s, people used moist balls of crustless bread to erase pencil marks. This clever and inexpensive solution worked well for removing graphite from paper. Additionally, it doubled as a snack for students during exams, making it a practical and tasty tool in early school settings. From August 1st to 7 each year, clowns have a whole week dedicated to them, a declaration passed into U.S. law by President Richard Nixon on 2nd of August, 1971. The week honors the cultural and historical contributions of clowns to the entertainment world. Utah is known for consuming more Jello per capita than any other U.S. state, making it a beloved local treat. Jello holds such cultural significance in Utah that it was even declared the official state food. During the 2002 Salt Lake City Olympics, an officially licensed Jello pen was sold as a quirky souvenir. Eggs can remain fresh for up to 3 to 5 weeks beyond their stamped expiration date, as long as they are kept refrigerated at around 40 Fahrenheit. Many people mistakenly throw away eggs once the date passes, wasting perfectly good food. Storing them properly extends their shelf life considerably. Although owls cannot rotate their heads completely, they have an impressive ability to turn them 135 degrees in either direction, giving them a total head movement range of 270 degrees. This allows them to spot prey and detect danger from various angles without needing to move their bodies, helping with stealth. Owl City's hit song Fireflies became a viral sensation, especially for the lyric, "I'd get 1,000 hugs from 10,000 lightning bugs." Fans were confused, prompting the band to clarify that the total number of hugs meant 10 million. The quirky math twist made the lyric a fun, memorable part of the song. Maurice Kenyon Taylor invented the first computer mouse in 1946 while working for the British Royal Navy. Initially a rollerball device, the mouse didn't take on its familiar name until 1965, when it became popularized for use with personal computers. The mouse revolutionized how people interact with computers, making it easier and more intuitive. It takes about 700 grapes to produce a single bottle of wine, which is roughly equivalent to 2.6 pounds of grapes. The process of turning grapes into wine involves careful cultivation, harvesting, and fermentation, with each bottle requiring significant effort. The idea of the moon being made of cheese dates back to medieval folklore. One tale involves a fox tricking a wolf into thinking the moon's reflection in a lake is cheese. The wolf drinks all the water trying to reach it and hilariously explodes. With over 2,000 variations, cheese predates written language. Ancient Egyptian murals from 4,000 years ago depict cheesemaking, proving its significance even in early civilizations. Before becoming the Spice Girls, the group was called Touch. Mel C shared in a 2018 interview that the name felt generic and they aimed for something with more personality. Adopting Spice Girls allowed them to embrace individuality, empowering a global audience and transforming into icons of girl power and pop culture. Buttered toast tends to land butter side down due to physics. Toast falling from hand height usually completes only half a rotation because of its angle, increasing the likelihood of landing butter side down. This relatable observation was first documented in New York Magazine in 1835. In 2018, a 73-year-old bottle of 1945 Romanée Conti Burgundy became the most expensive wine ever sold at auction. It was sold at Sotheby's for $558,000, surpassing its $32,000 estimate by 17 times. Collectors highly value such bottles for their rarity and historical significance. For the 2006 film Children of Men, director Alfonso Cuarón reached out to Banksy for collaboration. While Banksy declined, he allowed his iconic piece Kissing Coppers to appear in one scene. While directing Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Alfonso Cuarón asked the 3 lead actors to write essays about their characters. Emma Watson wrote 16 pages, Daniel Radcliffe submitted 1 page, and Rupert Grint didn't write anything. Historian Michael McCormick believes 536 AD was the worst year in history. A volcanic eruption caused extreme weather changes, leading to plummeting temperatures and failed harvests across Europe and China. This global climate catastrophe triggered famine and suffering on an unprecedented scale. Walt Disney holds the record for the most Academy Awards, with 26 wins out of 59 nominations. His achievements transformed animation and storytelling, producing timeless classics that have inspired generations. Cherophobia is the irrational fear of being happy. People with this condition often avoid joyous experiences due to an underlying fear of negative consequences. The term comes from the Greek word chiro, meaning to rejoice. Radiohead's hit Creep brought them fame, but the band openly dislikes the song. They even wrote My Iron Lung to express frustration with its popularity. Despite their feelings, Creep remains an iconic anthem for fans. Human lungs are far larger than they appear, capable of covering an entire tennis court if their surface area were spread out. This size is due to the intricate network of bronchi and alveoli, which maximize maximize oxygen exchange efficiency. It's unbelievable that such a vast structure folds neatly within the human chest, enabling the body to stay energized and alive. In tennis, the score of 0 is called love, but its origin is unclear. One theory suggests it comes from the French word l'œuf, meaning egg, since the number 0 resembles an egg. However, this explanation lacks solid evidence. Despite its mysterious origins, the use of love as a score has become an integral and quirky part of the sport's unique scoring system. In 1954, Alfred Krupa, an artist, changed travel forever by inventing the wheeled suitcase. Before this, travelers struggled to carry heavy bags by hand. By simply attaching wheels to luggage, Krupa made transporting belongings easier and more efficient. His practical idea laid the foundation for modern rolling suitcases, a convenience no traveler can imagine doing without. The Moai statues of Easter Island, renowned for their massive stone heads, are even more fascinating than they appear. Some of these statues have bodies buried beneath the surface, as revealed by archaeologists. Others were intentionally created as standalone heads. Sam Simon, one of the creators of The Simpsons, made an extraordinary impact beyond his television legacy. Before passing away in 2015, he donated $100 million to charities, including one that trains service dogs for veterans with PTSD and disabled individuals. His generosity has left a lasting positive impact. A queen bee can lay up to 2,000 eggs in a single day, ensuring the hive's growth and survival. Fertilized eggs become female worker bees, while unfertilized ones grow into male drones. This process, regulated by pheromones, allows the hive to maintain its complex social structure. The queen's ability to reproduce on such a massive scale is essential for the colony's success. Bees communicate the location of food sources through an intricate waggle dance. This dance involves specific movements and angles that convey precise information about the distance and direction of nectar and pollen relative to the sun. Worker bees transform select larvae into potential queen bees by feeding them a substance called royal jelly. This nutrient-rich food triggers the larvae to develop into fertile queens instead of sterile workers. The newly matured queen either establishes her own hive or replaces the current queen, ensuring the hive's survival and continuity for generations. By the way, if you're enjoying the content and want to support me, why not buy me a coffee? It's a small way to help me stay caffeinated and keep creating awesome videos for you. The link is in the description below. During Prohibition in the United States, the government added poison to industrial alcohol supplies in an attempt to stop illegal drinking. Despite the risks, many continued consuming tainted alcohol, leading to approximately 10,000 deaths. This harsh and controversial measure led to devastating consequences for those who defied it. Tesla, often associated with Elon Musk, was actually founded in 2003 by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. Musk joined in 2004 after leading the first major investment round and became chairman of the board. His leadership and vision turned Tesla into a world-renowned brand, but the company's origins trace back to the ingenuity and effort of its original founders. Saturn takes 29.4 Earth years to orbit the sun, moving slowly across the night sky. This gradual movement led ancient Assyrians to call it Lubatinu, meaning oldest of the old. Its long orbit and steady presence in the solar system make it one of the most fascinating planets to observe, especially with its distinctive rings that set it apart from other planets. Queen Victoria was the first monarch to live in Buckingham Palace. Her uncle, King William IV, previously owned it, but the building needed major repairs and expansion. Victoria commissioned significant changes, including the addition of a new wing. The palace took on much of its current form under her efforts and became the primary residence for British royalty. Before becoming president, Abraham Lincoln worked as a bartender. He co-owned a tavern called Barry and Lincoln with William F. Barry, where they served brandy and other drinks. The business failed because Barry drank much of their stock, leaving Lincoln to pursue other ventures. After his presidency, George Washington started a whiskey distillery, which became the largest in the country at the time. His distillery produced large quantities of whiskey, turning it into a profitable business. The Codex Leicester by Leonardo da Vinci is the most expensive book ever sold, purchased for $30.8 million by Bill Gates. This manuscript contains da Vinci's detailed observations about science, nature, and mechanics. Gates bought the book to ensure it would be preserved and studied. The Codex Leicester remains a treasure for those interested in the mind of one of history's greatest thinkers. George Washington Carver was the first African American to have a national park named in his honor, located in Missouri. In addition to his work as a pioneering scientist and inventor, Carver was also a gifted pianist and painter. His artwork was exhibited at the 1893 World's Fair. Carver's contributions to agriculture, particularly his promotion of crop rotation and the use of peanuts, left a lasting impact on American farming practices. The earliest known depiction of a unicorn was found in the Lascaux Caves in France, dating back to around 15,000 BCE. This ancient image is one of the first representations of the mythical creature and is considered one of the earliest examples of prehistoric art. Orson Welles, the legendary filmmaker known for Citizen Kane, was also a member of both the Society of American Magicians and the International Brotherhood of Magicians. Welles had a deep interest in magic and performed tricks at various conventions, demonstrating his passion for the art form. His involvement in the world of magic reveals another side of his creative talents. He was not just a groundbreaking director, but also a skilled illusionist with a flair for performance. The famous magic trick of sawing a woman in half became controversial in 1956 when magician P.C. Sorcar performed it live on BBC TV. The illusion, which appeared to cut the assistant in two, caused a panic among viewers who believed that the assistant had been seriously injured or killed. The shocking broadcast led to a flood of complaints from the public. In 2018, a poll revealed that the average British person spends approximately 10 years of their life watching television. With an increasing number of people now turning to streaming platforms like YouTube, traditional TV is facing new competition in the entertainment landscape. In its early days, YouTube was initially conceived as a dating site called Tune-In Hookup. The idea was to provide a platform where people could post videos to connect with potential dates. However, the name didn't quite capture the site's potential, and it was eventually changed to YouTube. The shift helped the platform become what it is today, a global video sharing site that allows people to upload, share, and view content from around the world. There are more rejections than matches on Tinder, according to a 2014 New York Times report. For every 1 billion swipes on the app, only 12 million resulted in matches. With millions of users swiping daily, the chances of connecting with someone can feel slim, so keep trying. Simon and Garfunkel's famous musical partnership began in grade school, where they met during a school production of Alice in Wonderland. Paul Simon played the White Rabbit, and Art Garfunkel took on the role of the Cheshire Cat. This early collaboration laid the foundation for their future as one of the most iconic folk duos in history. The original oranges were not orange in color. The first varieties, which originated in Southeast Asia, were a hybrid of tangerines and pomelos. These early oranges were green, and in regions like Vietnam and Thailand, oranges can still remain green even when they are fully ripe. The vibrant orange color we associate with the fruit today was the result of selective breeding over time. Beefalo is a hybrid species resulting from the cross between a cow and a bison. This hybrid was officially recognized as its own species in the 1980s. Beefalo combines the characteristics of both its parent species, offering leaner meat compared to traditional beef. Beefalo meat is now sold in almost half of the United States, providing an alternative to regular beef that is gaining popularity for its distinct flavor and nutritional benefits. On April 18, 1930, the BBC News radio broadcast reported no news for the day. They simply played piano music instead of giving updates, as there was nothing noteworthy to report. If only the media today could be so relaxed with silence, allowing us a little more calm in the constant flow of information. The word piano is short for pianoforte, which is Italian for soft loud. Early versions of the piano were known as forte pianos or loud softs, because they could play both soft and loud sounds, unlike earlier instruments. This ability to produce a range of dynamics is what set the piano apart from other keyboard instruments of the time. The concept of customer complaints is older than we might think. The first recorded complaint comes from around 1750 BC, from a man named Nani in Iraq. He sent a message of dissatisfaction to a copper merchant named Asia, requesting a refund for a poor product. His complaint was inscribed on a tablet, which was one of the earliest known customer service interactions. Dolly Parton is a legend in more ways than one. Beyond her immense success as a country music icon, she donated $1 million to COVID-19 vaccine research, which contributed to the successful development of a vaccine. Additionally, her Dolly Parton's Imagination Library has sent over 100 million free books to children worldwide, fostering a love of reading and learning in countries like the US, Canada, the UK, Ireland, and Australia. Dolly, the sheep, was the first mammal to be cloned from an adult somatic cell. Born in 1995, the cell used to clone her came from a mammary gland, and as a nod to her origin, she was named after country singer Dolly Parton. This was no joke. It was a serious scientific achievement that made Dolly the first cloned mammal. The Korean word literally means mom's friend's son, but is used colloquially to describe someone who excels at everything. It refers to that one person who always seems to be better at everything, from academics to sports, often making others feel a little less accomplished. The Salem witch trials of the 17th century are often associated with women being burned at the stake for witchcraft. However, this part of the story is not entirely accurate. While many women were executed during the trials, most were either hanged or jailed, not burned. The idea of burning at the stake seems to have been a later myth, added to the historical narrative, but never actually practiced during the trials, which were horrific enough on their own. Frederick Bauer, the man who designed the iconic Pringles can, was so proud of his creation that when he passed away, his ashes were placed in one of the cans. His design revolutionized potato chip packaging, making the Pringles can a familiar sight on shelves worldwide. And even in death, Bauer's legacy lived on in the very product he helped create. The chainsaw, often associated with lumberjacks and horror films, was not originally designed for cutting down trees. In fact, its first use was to assist in difficult childbirths by cutting through pelvic bones. Developed in the 18th century, the chainsaw chainsaw was a surgical tool intended to ease the process of delivering babies, cases where a cesarean section was necessary. It's a far cry from its current use in cutting wood and creating lumber. Cloudflare, the internet security company, uses an interesting method to generate random cryptographic keys for their encryption software. They have a wall full of lava lamps, with the random movement of the lava providing an unpredictable source of randomness. This movement helps generate unique, secure keys for their clients, adding an extra layer of security to their already robust encryption systems. Just like Cloudflare uses innovative methods to keep your data safe, NordVPN offers powerful encryption to protect your online privacy. With NordVPN, your data is encrypted, your IP is hidden, and your online activity stays private. It uses advanced security measures to ensure that your browsing, streaming, and shopping are done safely and securely. With over 5,000 servers in 60+ countries, NordVPN provides unmatched protection, letting you browse securely and access content from anywhere. Try it risk-free with their 30-day money-back guarantee. Protect yourself today. Link in the description. Right now, there are about 20 volcanoes erupting across the globe, though not all are as dramatic as you might expect. Many of these volcanoes are smaller and don't spew massive amounts of magma, which is why their eruptions aren't widely reported. Volcanic activity varies from explosive eruptions to slower, non-threatening emissions of gas and ash. After death, your body usually decays, but under specific conditions, it can transform into a waxy, soap-like substance. This process occurs when the enzymes in the soil break down the fat in the body, leading to a chemical reaction that turns the body into a form of adipocere, also known as grave wax. Some cultures don't bury their dead in the ground. For example, the Cavitino people in the Philippines entomb their deceased inside trees. This practice requires the individual to choose their tree before they die. It's a deeply spiritual and cultural practice, with the tree serving as a final resting place. The dead are then placed inside the tree, and the body naturally decays within the wood. The earth is struck by lightning about 100 times per second, making it a constant and widespread natural phenomenon. While the strikes are not always visible, they occur all around the world, especially in thunderstorm-prone regions. Lightning is an incredible force of nature, capable of striking the ground, objects, or even other clouds. When lightning strikes sand or beaches, it can create a rare and fascinating material known as fulgurite. This crystallized glass forms when the intense heat from a lightning strike fuses the sand's silicon dioxide into a glassy substance. Fulgurite is highly prized by collectors and scientists for its rarity and unique appearance. Ride the Lightning was Metallica's second studio album, released in 1984. The album's title was inspired by a phrase from Stephen King's novel The Stand. While reading the book, Metallica's guitarist Kirk Hammett came across a line where a death row inmate says he is going to ride the lightning, meaning he is about to face execution in the electric chair. The phrase struck Hammett as fitting and memorable, which led to it becoming the album's title. Hotels in New Orleans get extremely busy during Mardi Gras, but one of their less well-known expenses is buying grease to cover their balcony poles. This might sound strange, but it's done to prevent drunk and overly enthusiastic revelers from attempting to climb the poles to get a better view of the parades. Cenosillicophobia is the fear of an empty glass, which often leads people to seek out more drinks when they feel their glass is nearly finished. This condition might seem funny, but it's a real issue for some, particularly when they feel the need to constantly refill their glass. A simple solution, though, could be using a plastic beaker to avoid the anxiety of an empty glass, sidestepping the fear altogether. Impractical Jokers is a wildly popular hidden camera show on the web, known for its hilarious and often embarrassing pranks. However, not everyone is thrilled about being featured on the show. One man, for instance, refused to sign the consent form after he was caught on camera shopping for furniture with his mistress, potentially exposing his affair. Lord Byron, the famous 19th century poet, was known for his rebellious nature, especially during his university years. When dogs were banned from the Cambridge campus, Byron, undeterred by the rule, decided to keep a bear as a pet instead. The bear became his companion, defying the university's restrictions and adding to Byron's infamous reputation for breaking social norms. Carrie Fisher, best known for her role as Princess Leia in Star Wars, was more than just an iconic actress. She was also a skilled script doctor, helping to rewrite screenplays for several major films. While she often went uncredited for her contributions, Fisher played a significant role in improving scripts for movies like Hook, Sister Act, and The Wedding Singer. In Sweden, there's a quirky wedding tradition that involves guests lining up to kiss the bride or groom if one of them leaves the ceremony. For example, if the bride steps away, the groom can be kissed by guests and vice versa. This tradition provides an unusual opportunity for those attending the wedding to get a quick kiss from the spouse-to-be, especially if they've secretly fancied them. It's a playful custom, but it also means you might want to think twice before choosing a Swedish wedding for your own romantic intentions. David Bowie, the iconic musician, was often noted for having two different colored eyes, but that wasn't actually the case. One of his eyes appeared a different color because it was permanently dilated. This happened when he was a young boy and got into a fight with his best friend over a girl. The punch that struck him caused his pupil to remain dilated for the rest of his life, giving the impression of two differently colored colored eyes. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the gift of 69 facts sent by Santa. If you want to see more or have any questions about any of the facts, feel free to comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you've enjoyed the facts so far. Until then, stay awesome. The Useless Guy.